Consumerism, the plague that's been sweeping through the lands of first world countries for arguably potentially way too long. And I'm curious if you guys feel this way, because when I see someone who's ordering from like Amazon every day and that package comes in, they show you and you're like, what is this garbage, bro? They're like, oh, it was on sale. It was only $20. It was like, was it really on sale, or do they just mark it down for that illusion that it's on sale? Because why is everything always on sale, you know? I just feel like there's these factories or these warehouses that are just trying to get rid of their inventory, this plastic garbage, bro. And it's like, and maybe that's just how people fill their void. It's like giving yourself a present every day, something to look forward to. So in a sense, I can kind of get it. But bro, like, what is it, man? It's like going out and buying just this random garbage. It must be that, right? It's just like a new thing to look forward to, or add to your collection. I will say I do kind of respect collectors. I do think it's kind of cool when you see like a guy with his like man cave and he has like all this old retro Star Wars stuff. I feel like I would get a little existential in there, especially if I got a little stone and I'm looking at all that. I'd be like, bro, what am I doing with all this? Dude, there was one time, me and my buddy, we did like mushrooms, right? And maybe that was the kicker for me, because I did used to like those those Funko Pops. Like when those first started coming out, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I can get like a Xenomorph, or I can get like a Pit Boy from Fallout, or I can get like the Joker, like little like memories of past IPs that I enjoyed when I was younger or whatever. But I remember we did mushrooms and I just had this thought of all that plastic that goes into making these Funko Pops. And I had a vision of seeing like all these Iron Men like in a trash dump somewhere, just that will outlive us. It just won't decay because it's made out of just garbage that won't disintegrate or whatever. Maybe that was it. I don't know, because ever since then, man, I just stopped buying myself random stuff. And in a way, I've kind of always been in the sense of, if it works, why would I get something new? Like, do you guys know anyone where if something gets like a scratch, it's like ruined now? It's like, bro, but if it functions the same, I feel like we're good. Like, dude, I know people that, like, if their pots and pans get a scratch, or if there's like little burn marks, it's like it's doing its job. But then they'll go get new ones because they need it to be that new shiny thing. And it's like, I don't know, is it just the look of things? I kind of view things as like the substance or the function. And maybe that's why I can argue that I do think some tech is worth it, because like let's say you spend 500 bones on a PS5, but you enjoy gaming and you'll use that for the next probably 5 years, right? So that's like pretty good value, I would say. And I would argue the same with certain games. I do feel like most games aren't worth 60 bones, but if you wait like a year or two and you buy like Resident Evil 4 for $20, worth it all the way. That is one of the games though that I did buy on release and I regretted it, because I played it once, I enjoyed it a lot, I was like, and then now I see it and it's like $20. I'm like, bro, I should have just waited. Like, did I really need to play it at that time? I really could have just waited. And I do that now. I wait for games. Like, I want to play Dead Space Remake, but I still think that's like $50 or something. I'm like, bro, I played that in like 2008. I'll buy it when it's like $10. You know what I mean? Is that just me? I don't know. Maybe I'm becoming more of a hoarder with money. Maybe I just realize the value of money. And I also don't blame people for spending their money, because, maybe, and I don't even know if it goes this deep, but maybe it's just like, tomorrow's never promised. You acquired this money right now. You might as well chase some enjoyment with it as soon as you can, potentially, maybe, I don't know. But then what if you outlive longer than you thought, and you're like, bro, I wasted so much money throughout my life on Forever 21 clothes and Target knickknacks that I didn't need, that I ended up throwing out when I moved. That also might be part of it. Maybe I do feel like I'm the issue, and maybe now that I think about it, now I say this out loud, maybe it is because I've moved so much, and I don't know, you just kind of get rid of stuff. You're like, oh, I don't really feel like taking this with. I'd rather just go dump it. And you're like, bro, that was an $80 piece of furniture, but I don't really want to carry that. I don't want to like disassemble that and reassemble it. So it must be me, man. But I do find it odd that it's like, I don't know, it's just like always, something can always be bought or be better in someone's eyes, especially clothes. I don't get how someone can like pay like $80 for a t-shirt. Like $80 for a t-shirt, bro. You could get like 4 5 packs of like 5 shirts in that pack, and you'd be set forever. Like, yeah, it's just like plain shirts, but what do you really need? And maybe, it is easier being a guy. You can just get a t-shirt, wear some shorts, t-shirt and jeans, and you're kind of set forever. Our styles don't really change unless you're like a styled guy. Like I'm trying to think, what do and they do look nice or whatever. Like if you try to look at like those billboards for like Abercrombie or something, I guess you can be rocking it. But you know, anyone who's shredded looks good in anything, so you're kind of just chilling. Or it's just like, bro, you're not that guy. Go put on a t-shirt with Goku on it and some gamer shorts and get to it, bro. You're not. And then imagine a Jack guy in that Goku shirt rocks it. Maybe that's what it is. People think these products or these clothing items will like elevate their looks, and it definitely does. But the only thing to really elevate your looks, other than like genetics and like being pretty or handsome, is being fit and healthy. Then you can kind of rock anything. Maybe that's the illusion. Like these people see these clothes and it's like, oh, she looks really good in that, and then they put it on. It's like, oh, the difference between me and her is our bodies. It wasn't the clothes doing it. It was how we actually look under the clothes. Maybe that's it. And I'm not tossing shade. Sometimes it just makes me a little existential thinking of just how much garbage products we make, and that all ends up in a landfill. And like I said, it was probably that time when I was thinking of the Iron Man thing, but I still think that holds true. Like you just think about just all the waste that we just like create. Oh man, is recycling even a thing? I sometimes feel like recycling, they just like go dump that somewhere too. I guess there are some things like glass gets recycled, I believe, but I haven't seen it. I guess that's a different topic. That's a different rabbit hole. But man, I was just thinking because like I know someone who started ordering from like the TikTok shop, and they were saying how bad the quality is, and it's like, yeah, bro, you spent $1.80 on a thing that if you bought it from like even Walmart, it would be like $8 there. So it's like, of course it's gonna be garbage. And I just feel like they're sending over these ships full of containers of just nonsense, right? I feel like they're just trying to get rid of inventory. I feel like some companies just went hard on like mass producing a bunch of things, and then they're like, well, it was cheaper to mass produce, but now we just have so much garbage, let's just kind of give it out for free. Dude, I even heard from that same person, they tried returning some stuff from TikTok, and then they were like, we'll give you your money back, but you don't have to send it back. It's like, I feel like that's just the definition of garbage. They don't even want it back, and they'll just pay you just to not talk about it anymore. But I'm curious, do you guys buy some stuff? Like for me, man, like I've bought in things, right? Like I have a nice pair of headphones, Bluetooth headphones that I've had now for like probably like 6 years. They still get the job done. And that was like a pretty penny. That was probably like $200 or something. And so I think function, man. Function. I guess what I'm trying to say is like the small little things, the small increments of just buying like some plastic toy or action figure. If that's your vibe, that's fine. But it's like these just cheap little like knickknacks, and it's like, oh well, it changes colors. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure, I suppose. I do respect some of it, I guess. Like I said, I do respect like the collectors. I do think that's kind of cool, just because that's like gets more into like hobby focused. So like if you are into action figures, and you're kind of nerdy about like like the limited edition ones, or this one's special because of that. I have heard people talk about that type of stuff, and I do respect it. I don't think I could do it. Even if money was no object, I just don't feel like I could do it. But, so I get like some things, like decorations. You gotta, like the bare bones. It's just like the constant, man. I guess this is on my mind because literally the past 2 days I've heard from two people, but there was like 3 people in the topic of conversation of just like people who get like Amazon deliveries every single day. And I've seen that firsthand. Like I've seen that firsthand when, living at home back in the day when I was a young lad, and just seeing that Amazon, or like even younger, man. And maybe this is why, maybe I'm uncovering why I have an opinion about this in the first place. Like going like when I was like 6 or whatever, having to tag along with my mom all day. We'd be going to like the mall. It felt like my whole childhood was like in the mall, just sitting around. I had a Game Boy, thankfully, just sitting around playing like Legend of Zelda or Kirby while she's just going in these stores. And it's like, oh my gosh, she has so many things. And then the next day, now we got to go back and return the majority of those things. And it's like, bro, what are we doing? We're wasting so much time of our lives. And that's another thing, man. The last thing I want to do is return something. I feel like that's such a waste of time. So I never buy anything unless I'm like fully sure that this will acquire or like achieve its function I need it to do, and that it'll last. It'll last for as long as I need it. You know what I mean? Like when I think of like my keyboard for my computer, I've had that for, bro, I may have had that for 10 years now. Oh my God. I may have needed to replace it at some point. I think one time it broke and I just bought the same one again. Like the Razer, I don't know the model. Same with the mouse. That mouse I've had for probably like 10 years, but I also think I replaced it at some point. I actually might need to replace it again. That mouse wheel doesn't work anymore. So I can't play like Cyberpunk right now because you need that mouse wheel to undo your talons or to like take off your shirt. And I play FemV, so it's like, bro, every now and again I might want to do that. So I haven't touched that game mainly because of the mouse. Even though that game seems pretty sick now. I booted it up like a couple months ago to check it out. It's so optimized, man. I am stoked to get into that at some point. And I guess that, you know what's crazy? If you listen to my video the other day about video games not hitting the same, maybe that's what I need to jump into because I did enjoy the intro. The intro was like 6 hours long. It took me like a couple play sessions to get through just the tutorial. But once you're through it, it's like, dang, this game actually seems pretty hype. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just always just trying to make sense of things, I guess, bro. Thanks for listening. But yeah, man, I don't know. I just find this consumerism lifestyle and just I do find it pointless. And I try to be empathetic and try and understand that maybe it's just like I said, like a thing to look forward to, a void to fill, and they think this product will do it when it's like, maybe just read a book or meditate. But to each their own, I suppose. But man, you ever just like look around, like even at like houses you drive by and you just see a bunch of crap in their yard, and you're like, bro, yeah, you live your life, but I just find it crazy. I'm curious to know what's going on in your head. I want to know what makes people justify this type of behavior. Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to ask them. And I've done that before. And it almost seems like people get kind of offended by that. Like when you ask, like, like what's the value of this stuff? It's more expensive than a cheaper version, but why would you prefer the more expensive version? Is it just because it looks that way? Sometimes I think consumerism is honestly like a show and tell for strangers. Like I have this fancy purse and the brand. Brands, I don't understand brands. One, I don't want like a brand on my clothes. As I look down, I am wearing Nikes. But I didn't get it because of the brand. I got them because they were like mad cheap. But dude, like on my shirts, I never want like a logo. Like dude, I don't even know good brands to be honest. Like I don't know. I just dodged that bullet of like thinking this brand is above this one. I don't know, man. It's definitely me. It's definitely some reason that just like that didn't nick me. That bug, I'm immune to that bug, I guess. If it's a black shirt and it's $5, down. Black shirt, $80, but it has this brand on it. Like, what's a good brand? Aloe or something? Tommy Hilfiger, is that still around? It's like, bro, why would it's the same thing essentially. Yeah, maybe it feels a little better, but it's like, it feels fine. It's not that big of a deal, I don't know. It's obviously just me. Or not. You guys let me know. And hopefully this makes sense because it's like, I don't have necessarily a problem. It is what it is. It just gets my gears turning of like what makes something so valuable to people, and do people not like value their money? It's like I would rather my $5 make me $20 than me spending $20 and just go further and further down the hole of. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. Because now I'm thinking like there's so many people in credit card debt. And I know sometimes if you're in a pickle, you kind of have to use your credit card, right? like if unexpected bills are coming in and whatnot. So my heart goes out to them. But the people that are just like, let's just swipe that card, bro. Maybe they're like existential. And they're like, bro, I might die, and who cares if I die and I got all this debt? Don't matter, bro. Are you gonna sue me in my grave? Maybe that's it. Or maybe, like I said, maybe it doesn't go that deep. Maybe I just like think too much about things that don't need to be thought about. But I can't help it, man. I just observe the world around me, and I'm just question why a lot of us act a certain way. Not that I have all the answers. I actually think I rob myself of enjoyment that a lot of people seem to find. So I actually think I'm more of an issue. So I don't think it's a holier than thou thing. It's just more of like, what are we doing, you know? What are we doing here? And I'm sure there's things I could think of where, like I said, with certain games, some people don't see any value in games, which is fair. But I would argue if you do want to play that game, I guess I kind of convert it to like movies. Like, let's say a movie ticket is $15, $15 for 2 hours. So $7.50 an hour. And if this game is 40 hours long and you bought it for $60, money worth it, right? At least in my head. In my head, it works that way because you're like paying for enjoyment. Well, like a shirt, is that really enjoyment? Maybe the first time you wear it, you're like, oh, this is nice. And then over time, eventually you just like stop wearing it. Some people do. Some people don't wear the same shirt like twice. Bro, that's crazy. Sometimes I wear the same shirts like every week. Like I'll bust out like I have this shirt that was a gift, and it has like the Punisher logo on it. I've never seen Punisher, but I've started wearing that more just because I was playing Rivals lately, even though I don't play Punisher. And I wear that probably like once a week now. Every time it's clean, I'm like, oh, I'll wear this if I'm just kind of lounging about, you know? You guys get what I'm saying? I say this as I have an Apple Watch on, but granted, I got this Apple Watch from work. It was like through their insurance thingy. Dude, I stopped charging this thing. I kind of just wear it as a bracelet now. Dude, it dies so quick, and I don't even like, I wouldn't even use any of the apps or anything on it. So I kind of just have it on a black band, and it kind of looks chill as a bracelet. Just a fancy, kind of fancy, I guess, little bracelet. So I don't know. I'm sure I'm a hypocrite in some way or the other. I'm looking around me right now to see if there's anything, but it's like, bro, there's like these Stanley Cups. Remember when that randomly started popping off? And I only know that because of people that I personally knew. I was like, why are we talking about this? And I guess these fancy Stanley Cups that are decently expensive, and they're just like water flasks. Dude, I have a water flask right here. This thing is like $10, and I got it like Marshalls or something, and I use it every day, and it gets the job done. I don't get the brand loyalty or the brand like love. Like, who cares? Obviously, people do, but it's like, is it just like a waving the flag of I'm in on it too, or I can afford this trendy brand? Good for the people good for the CEOs of these brands or the marketing departments. They're probably making mad bank. So good on them for tricking all these people into thinking they need something that's the same garbage as the cheaper alternative, but it has the logo on it, like Supreme, right? I've seen that logo around a lot, and it's like, it must be, man. I think it is just waving the flag of like, I have excess money and I bought it on this. And I guess that's a flex to some people, even though I bet a majority of these people bought it on a credit card. Or probably didn't necessarily, that was probably a good amount of their net worth just went into that new hoodie. Sounds like I'm kind of tossing shade. I'm not. I just kind of find it silly and goofy. So maybe I am tossing a little bit of shade. But I don't know. That's on you guys. It is what it is. I'm just curious if you guys if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Like, what are we doing, man? If it brings you joy, do it. Who cares? Who cares what I say? But I'm just curious what we're doing. If that makes sense. But dang, I didn't realize I was ranting this long. I guess that happens every time now, especially if you listen to past ones. You will notice that's a common occurrence. I just go to the ether and then I get zapped back. And I'm like, oh man, I've been rambling for a minute. But I appreciate you if you've listened to this, bro. Make sure to do something for yourself and make sure to do something for someone else today. Let's get it, bro. Have a good one. Take care.